$30 billion. That is the astronomical amount of money that could vanish into thin air as FIFA faces its ultimate modern disaster. And absolutely nobody inside their high-tech Swiss headquarters saw it coming. We are right in the thick of the 2026 World Cup, a tournament that was supposed to be the most lucrative, glorious sporting spectacle in human history across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Instead, a toxic cocktail of corporate greed, unprecedented legal warfare, and furious fan rebellion has pushed the entire global soccer ecosystem to the absolute brink of total collapse. Look, we all knew this tournament would be massive with 48 teams and more games than ever before. But what is happening behind closed doors right now is a complete operational nightmare. This is not just a localized problem anymore. It is an active corporate meltdown that threatens to pull down the multi-billion-dollar house of cards FIFA has spent a decade building. And the damage is already spilling out into the open. To understand how we got to this point, you have to look at the sheer scale of what FIFA attempted to pull off this year. They projected over $14 billion in direct revenue from this tournament alone, turning the sport into an exclusive playground for billionaires and corporate elites. But they didn't stop there. In their pursuit of maximum profit, they implemented a ruthless corporate strategy that has completely backfired, igniting a war with local governments, international court systems, and the very fans who keep the sport alive. But that's not even the worst part. The real disaster kicked off when FIFA decided to quietly introduce a predatory tech feature into their ticket sales that they hoped nobody would question. It is called dynamic pricing. If you have ever tried to buy concert tickets online and watch the price double in seconds because of high demand, you know exactly how frustrating this system is. FIFA decided to bring that exact same chaos to the World Cup. Fans who were initially promised accessible, one taxi and it was a mate in a bus. Affordable tickets suddenly found themselves trapped in digital queues, watching ticket prices skyrocket by hundreds, then thousands of dollars in real time. Here's where it gets messy. The cheapest tickets for the final match at MetLife Stadium were suddenly listed at an absurd $6,000, which is 7 times higher than the price of the final match just 4 years ago. For the average family, or the die-hard fan, traveling from Europe, South America, or Africa, attending a single group stage match became an impossible financial nightmare. The outrage was instant, but FIFA simply brushed it off, thinking they were completely untouchable. They figured the demand was so high that people would eventually just swipe their credit cards and shut up. And then, everything changed. A powerful coalition known as the Football Supporters Europe fan organization realized they had seen enough of this extortionate betrayal. They quietly gathered evidence, documented the lack of transparency, and filed a massive, unprecedented lawsuit with the European Commission targeting FIFA's absolute monopoly over global ticket sales. This wasn't just a symbolic protest. It was a direct legal strike at the core of FIFA's commercial model, threatening to freeze their international bank accounts and halt billions of dollars in projected television and sponsorship revenue. Wait, there's more to this. While the legal storm was brewing across the Atlantic, an even bigger crisis exploded right on American soil. The local host cities, who were already being squeezed for every single penny to pay for security, VIP motorcades, and massive sponsor exclusion zones, decided they were done playing nice with Zurich. The Attorneys General of New York and New Jersey launched a stunning joint offensive, officially subpoenaing FIFA over their deceptive ticket pricing models and claims that fans were being actively manipulated with fake scarcity and hidden seat allocations. This is the part FIFA didn't want you to see. When a local government subpoenas a global sporting body mid-tournament, it is not just an administrative hiccup. It is a full-blown red flag. Suddenly, FIFA's executives found themselves facing the terrifying prospect of local fraud investigations, state-level lawsuits, and the potential freezing of stadium operations at the very venues scheduled to host the biggest matches of the summer. The carefully curated corporate landscape was completely fracturing under the weight of its own greed. It only got worse from here. As the financial and legal pressure built up, the tournament's operational infrastructure started showing massive structural flaws. The expansion to a 48-team bracket, which critics had warned would dilute the quality of the competition, began causing scheduling logistics that can only be described as pure chaos. Teams and fans are being forced to travel over 5,000 kilometers between matches, bouncing from Toronto to Los Angeles to Seattle in a matter of days. The environmental impact has triggered an international outcry, with scientists labeling this the most polluting and potentially deadliest sports event in history due to extreme heat waves and unprecedented carbon emissions. You are not ready for what happens next, because this entire corporate nightmare is about to collide with a geopolitically explosive situation on the ground. We have been tracking rumors of immense tension behind the scenes, but the true scale of the disaster is far worse than anyone imagined. FIFA is now staring down the barrel of a multi-billion-dollar broadcasting breach because several major international broadcast networks and Tier 1 corporate sponsors are actively threatening to pull out of their contracts entirely. They are citing a massive drop in public sentiment and a brand safety crisis that could permanently damage their corporate images if they remain attached to this unfolding meltdown. The main reveal here exposes just how deeply broken FIFA's structural foundation truly is. Internal documents leaked from a high-level executive meeting show that if the European Commission rules against FIFA's ticket monopoly, and if the state subpoenas in New York and New Jersey uncover systemic consumer fraud, the financial fallout will not just be a couple of fines. We are talking about a cascade of contract cancellations, immediate sponsor withdrawals, and massive class action lawsuits from millions of fleeced fans that totals an estimated $30 billion in long-term liabilities, brand devaluation, and lost future revenue. FIFA has spent decades operating as a sovereign state that answers to no one. But by bringing their hyper-capitalist, aggressive monetization strategies into a highly regulated legal market like the United States, they have walked right into a trap of their own making. Look at how the dominoes are falling right now. Major brands like Saudi Aramco, Visa, and Coca-Cola, who paid hundreds of millions of dollars to have exclusive, sterile, 2-kilometer branding zones around these public stadiums, are finding themselves surrounded by angry local protesters, intense political scrutiny, and a deeply cynical public. Local business owners are realizing that the promised $1 billion in tourism spending is almost entirely flowing into FIFA's private coffers, leaving local taxpayers to foot the bill for massive policing operations and infrastructure wear and tear. The illusion of a unified, joyful global celebration has been completely shattered, replaced by a cutthroat corporate circus. But that's not even the worst part. The sporting integrity of the tournament itself is now a primary victim of this commercial madness. Players are openly complaining about the brutal travel schedules and dangerous playing conditions, with stadium temperatures hitting extreme levels that some sports doctors warn should merit an immediate suspension of play. We are seeing a tournament where the focus has completely shifted from spectacular goals and dramatic pitch battles to legal briefs, subpoena compliance, and emergency executive board meetings. The beautiful game has been completely ruined by an insatiable appetite for profit, and the fans are making sure FIFA pays the ultimate price for it. This crisis is going to completely redefine how major international sporting events are hosted moving forward. The days of FIFA entering a host country, demanding complete tax exemptions, forcing cities to sign extortionate indemnity clauses, and treating local citizens like secondary thoughts are officially over. This $30 billion disaster is a stark warning to any sporting federation that believes it is bigger than the legal systems of the countries it operates in. The long-term implications are clear. FIFA will likely be forced to completely dismantle their dynamic pricing algorithms, implement strict caps on ticket costs, and surrender a massive portion of their commercial control back to local municipalities if they ever want to host an event on this continent again. What do you think about this absolute madness? Do you think FIFA has finally pushed their corporate greed too far? Or will they somehow manage to wiggle out of this legal chokehold like they always do? Drop a comment below and let me know if you would ever pay $6,000 just to sit in the upper deck of a World Cup match. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this multi-billion-dollar legal war is developing by the hour. And we are going to keep tracking every single piece of breaking drama right here. After all, nobody at FIFA saw this coming, and you definitely don't want to miss how this unprecedented nightmare finally ends.